Yeah, I mean, I think it's too early to really inspire. I think inspiring is things that kind of have to germinate, inside you for a while before they do that. But, what The Walking Dead has, I think, done for adventure games in a way is it has kind of shown that there is this very large group of people who do kind of enjoy that kind of game if it can kind of be made, in just the right way, and the story can be told in just the right way, that there are a lot of people out there who do want to play adventure games. I don't know if The Walking Dead works because it's episodic. I think that game would have worked just as well if it was one entire game. So I don't know that it's necessarily episodic that makes that work. I think episodic is always hard with games. A lot of gamers, and rightly so to some degree, just say, well, why can't I just have the whole game, all at once? Why do I have to wait, for these times between? And I think there's a little bit of truth to that. And it's why I've always wanted to do an episodic game, but I want it to be like 20 or 30 episodes long, that you get them once a week, not once every 6 months or so. So as I was designing the game, I could really react to what the players were liking or not liking in the game, and really have the game be interactive on two different levels. It was interactive in how the players were playing it interactively, but it was also interactive that I was designing the game based on the interaction with the people playing the game. I thought that would be a really fun way to do episodic. It's easy to say Guybrush. And at some level that probably is a little bit true. It's like I like all the Maniac Mansion characters, quite a bit. They're fun, like, Razor and Bernard, I really, really like as well, those two characters. I like, some of the characters I created at Humongous Entertainment with the kids' games. Pajama Sam, I really, really like Pajama Sam a lot. So yeah, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Guybrush, though. Guybrush's name definitely has a very strange origin to it. It was when we were doing that game, we had the lead character, and I knew kind of who he was and what he was about, and we even had him in the game. And Steve Purcell, who was the artist, Steve Purcell created Sam & Max, and Steve Purcell, he would draw these characters, and he would send them to me, to see which ones I liked and which ones I didn't like. And I'd kind of make changes, and he'd come back and send me more. But because we didn't have a name for the character, we were just calling him Guy. He's the guy. He's the guy. That's all we would do him. And in D-Paint, if you take a little piece of the picture, it's called a brush. So he would save the files off as just Guybrush. Guybrush, I think it was .lbm was the actual extension, but it was just guybrush.lbm. So these were the files I would always get from Steve Purcell, and I just started calling him Guybrush, and I thought that was a really, really great name. And I told it to Tim and Dave, and they just thought I was crazy. That was Dave Grossman came up with that, and I believe, if I'm remembering right, it was a D&D character that his brother used to play when they were kids, was called Threepwood. So we needed a last name for him, so Dave came up with the last name, Threepwood. No. Because I don't know how to do anything else. I really don't. I make games, and I love doing it, and I really don't know what else I would go do if it wasn't making games. I just figured that was a really interesting challenge, and it started because I was watching a 5-year-old play Monkey Island, and he couldn't read, and there was no voice back then, and he couldn't read, so he didn't know anything that was going on with the story. He didn't even know what the verbs were, but he knew that if he touched this one word, and then he went with his cursor and he touched a door, it would open. And he just found that magical at some level. So I was just watching him, and he would spend hours playing Monkey Island, just walking around, kind of randomly getting stuff as inventory, not really kind of knowing what to do, and randomly using things. And it just kind of struck me that there was this 5-year-old that was just absolutely loving an adventure game. So I really wanted to just go make adventure games specifically for young kids, because they just seem like naturals for adventure games. There's a lot of people that come up to me today and tell me that they play adventure games today because of those games at Humongous Entertainment. And when they were small kids, they just kind of fell in love with adventure games from those. No, a lot of people come up to me and tell me that my games are the reason that they're in the game industry right now, and I always apologize to them. I was really surprised. I have to say, when somebody came into my office and said that Lucasfilm had been sold to Disney, I thought they were joking. I really did. I thought I was just being pranked. Because I just never thought that George would sell Lucasfilm. It was just something that seemed so personal to him. I just could never imagine him selling it. So I was really surprised, actually, that that happened. I'm sure they've spent $4 billion just to get Monkey Island. I'm pretty sure. They probably told the shareholders that we want Star Wars, but it was really about Monkey Island. I would like to see Maniac Mansion remade. I think that would be a fun, remake, kind of like they did with Monkey Island with the special editions. I would love to see Maniac Mansion done like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Whether there will be any more sequels to Monkey Island, I don't know. I just can't imagine Disney is thinking about that stuff. I think they have their eye on Star Wars and Indiana Jones. That's what's going to make them $1 billion when that movie comes out. I just don't think they have their eye on the games at all. Yeah, I mean, Tim Schafer and I are really good friends. I mean, we're good friends, and I'm, friends with David Fox and Noah Falstein. I mean, the three of us did the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade adventure game. Yeah, I have a lot of friends in the games business. Well, what Kickstarter has really done is it's allowed a lot of games that have smaller or cult followings to really get financing and be made. And I think that's a really interesting thing. I think the games industry itself is just more interesting if there are more different types of games being made. And Kickstarter is really allowing this whole different type of game to be made, and I think that's really great. The Cave is a game that I've had in my head since before Maniac Mansion, and being able to kind of revisit the concept of having these 7 characters that you choose 3 of them, and you go into this cave and solve adventure game puzzles cooperatively among the characters, is kind of revisiting that from Monkey Island I've always wanted to do. What I love about the game is that it's a lot of really good, fun adventure game puzzles. You go into it and there's a lot of great puzzles to solve. What do I hate about the game? I don't think there's any game that I have worked on that I didn't completely hate by the time it was done. Because I'm so sick of it, and it's all crap in my head, and it's just a horrible thing. And I thought that about Monkey Island, I thought that about Maniac Mansion, but then 2 weeks from now, I'll take a break and I'll come back and I go, wow, this is pretty good. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do come back and play my own stuff, especially right after. That first month or two after I'm done with it, I really do try to go back and play it, because I'm not tired anymore, I'm not exhausted, and I can really kind of look at it with fresh eyes and really appreciate what everybody built with it.